Hello and welcome back to the Paper Soprano podcast. I am your host and my name is Heidi, and oh gosh, guys, today is a special day. It is Martin Luther King Jr. Day in the year 2021, and if you have not done so already, you should review all of the things that you should be reviewing on this day. And, I feel like whenever it's like a national holiday where people are like, oh, yay, I'm off from work, it's easy to forget what you're off from work for, and people are like just kind of going out and doing what they need to do and bopping around and doing what they got to do. You know what I'm saying? But like, take a second and just remember, everything that Dr. King did for the United States, and it's extremely important now more than ever, I feel like, because we're in such a turbulent time where people are not being held accountable for their actions, and this information is so prevalent. So the more that we can just continue to educate ourselves on not only, just the big issues or the big points of contention for this holiday, but also the things that you might not know, the little intricacies about situations, and, just doing your part to be as educated as you possibly can be. And, paying your respects, paying your appreciation to Martin Luther King Jr., Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And yeah, so that's what today's really all about. That being said, I was off from work today, and I did go out and grab some things at the store, so look at me, hypocrite here. But while I was there, I had a really weird thing happen where, you know how there's always like music playing at whatever, and there's like classic kind of just like, pop songs playing, easy listening, whatever, on the radio in the store that you're shopping at. And I was at Walmart, and I was like just in there for a couple quick things, and I was like bopping around. I've been saying that a lot lately. But I was there, and there was a song playing on the radio, and you probably know it. It's the one that's like, why you always in a mood? Na, 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 the brand new. I ain't trying to tell you what to do. And one of the lyrics is, we play games of love to avoid the depression. And I have heard this song on the radio, whatever. I'm someone who doesn't like plug in my phone all the time. Like, I listen to the radio. I know this song. It's very simple to pick up on the lyrics. And I'm like standing there, and all of a sudden it says that one line. We play games of love to avoid the and it bleeps out the word depression. And I was like, oh, well, that just must be like a fluke or something. What? Like, I was so confused. But it happens again. It's a pop song. It happens over and over again. And every single time it bleeped out the word. It didn't have like a beep. It blanked it out. There was nothing there. It just removed the word depression from the song. And I was like, is this the future? Like, are we going to start removing things from songs like this? Like, I know, obviously, I'm very much, familiar with censoring, like, you swear words or curse words or whatever in songs, especially if it's being played in a store. But the word depression, I have never heard of that word being like too controversial to play in like a store. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm out of touch. Is this a thing? Like, have you ever experienced this? Because I was shocked, and I was like, I could not believe it. I'm so confused. Like, if you've ever experienced this kind of specific like music censorship, let me know, because maybe I'm totally out of touch about things like this. Like, I know, I'm thinking of another song. Oh, I think it's Nickelback's Rockstar. You know how they're like, we all just want to be big rock stars in 15 cars. The girls come easy and the drugs come cheap, you know? And I've heard the word drugs being bleeped out of a song on the radio or whatever. And even that to me was like, yeah, but it's just the word drugs. It's not like drugs isn't a bad word. You know what I mean? Like, why are they bleeping out the word drugs? And I get it, you know, drugs are a bad thing. I'm not trying to say drugs are bad. But, like, to bleep out that word from a song? I don't know. Like, maybe just don't play that song then. Like, because that's, I don't know. I guess maybe I'm totally out of touch. If you think that I am, let me know. But I find it kind of interesting that we have this ever-evolving sense of, you know, what is bad and what is good. And who knows, dude, you know, if people are starting to really, I don't want to say like appreciate depression, because no one appreciates it, but like if people are starting to recognize it as something that's bigger than just like throwing around the world, oh, I'm depressed, or like maybe that's a good thing. You know, perhaps. I know that people are getting away from the words like, oh, I'm a psychopath, or I'm insane, or I'm crazy. Like, people don't really say that as much anymore. You know what I mean? And obviously that we've moved away from things that are completely insensitive, like mental health disabilities and things like that. Like the verbiage on that has changed so much, but not meant, I you know what I mean, but I've never heard that kind of thing censored in a song before, and I just thought that was very interesting, something that I've never experienced. They bleeped out the word depression in a song, and I'm like, hey, that's interesting. Never experienced that before in my life. So, all right, you guys, we're gonna get our little vitamins in here today. We have started a new segment as of yesterday, and that segment is reading minute sketches of great composers. So, buckle up. Here's number 2. Yesterday we did Palestrina, and today we have William Byrd. In quotes under his name reads, Master of the Madrigal. Born 1538, died 1623. In the good days of Queen Elizabeth, there were no concerts. Music was a social pastime for the home. The resourceful hostess passed out parts of songs after dinner as casually as she deals a hand of bridge today. Byrd wrote, quote, Since singing is so good a thing, I wish all men would learn to sing, end quote. And all the educated ones did read and sing at sight, so that a new song was hailed more eagerly than a new jazz piece today. William Byrd, lovingly dubbed the father of music, in quotes, father of music, was the pioneer among English composers of Elizabeth's day, and contributed largely not only to these dinner party concerts, but to church and instrumental music as well. Born in Lincolnshire in 1538 and, quote, bred up to music under Thomas Tallis, end quote, he became organist of Lincoln Cathedral at 20 years old. A year later, he married, and 5 or 6 children duly appeared. He became a county gentleman, though he had to win many lawsuits in order to retain his property. He emerged victorious with an estate at Stondon Place, a coat of arms, and an annuity from the crown. The annuity was granted him after the monopoly on printing and selling music and music paper graciously accorded to him and Tallis in 1575, proved to be an empty unremunerative, unremunerative. I an unremunerative honor. Good Lord, if I could read the English language, that would be great. um, I have never seen that word before in my life. Unremunerative. 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 Anyway, the accounts of his life are incomplete, but we know that he lived piously but energetically to the ripe age of 80, despite the fact that for 15 years before his death, he kept alluding in a melancholy strain of its imminence. Many great nobles were his patrons, and their support overcame the petty persecutions he suffered as a papist under a Protestant queen. He prayed that he might live and die a true and perfect member of the Holy Catholic Church, and his prayer was granted. There are 8 published volumes of his work, including motets for the church, madrigals, and pieces composed for Queen Elizabeth's virginal, the ancestor of our piano. Elizabeth's virginal. I don't know what a virginal is. The ancestor of our piano. That's interesting. I'll have to look that up. It is safe to say that his book of psalms, sonnets, and songs marked the beginning of the golden age of English music, and that his madrigals made England a nest of singing birds. Certainly, he richly earned the dedication in a book of songs by one of his pupils, quote, "To William Byrd, a great master of music, for which skill and sweetness may content the most curious," end quote. All right, and that's all on William Byrd they have. Wow, this passage really made me question my literacy. So cool, love that for me. Yeah, this one, what I take away from this is, first of all, his connection with Thomas Tallis, but also I really like that opening statement. In the days of Queen Elizabeth, there were no concerts. Because it's like, it is so crazy to me that so many more people, comparatively to now, were musically literate because, we didn't have this, like, canned music at our fingertips that we can just play all the time. There was no, like, elevator music or music at Walmart, or like there was no music playing for your dinner party or anything. You had to make it. And that's so interesting to me that, and I mean, I've known this for a while, but if you're not a musical person who has studied music history at all, maybe you wouldn't know that, part songs and parlor songs and songs that you would just sing with like people who you were hanging out with, that was a big deal. And yeah, that is really interesting. It says all the educated ones did read and sing at sight, so that a new song was hailed more eagerly than a new jazz piece today. And this book, I will remind you, I think it was written in the 1930s, so we have to take all of this with a grain of salt. But it is interesting to see that, yeah, man, composers were they were so differently looked at in this time. You know the good old 1500s. Music was, I feel like, so much more of a career back then than it is now. And I say that with all appreciation to those who are in this career path right now, for sure. It was composing specifically, I think, has become more accessible in certain ways and more funded in many different branches. Like, you can compose for a lot of different types of music, whereas I feel like in William Byrd's time, you were pretty much composing for the church, or I don't really know what else. I will have to do some more research. If you know about what else composers might have been writing, obviously there were secular works and things like that, sonnets and songs and things like that, but yeah, man, the church had all the money. So they were obviously going to make people, be like, hey, write some songs for me. And they've got to have mass like every week. Every single week they're going to want something. And they've got this whole calendar set out. You know the church. They got to have a song for everything and lots of songs. People don't want to get bored. That was like their only entertainment back then. Besides singing, I guess, when you were at a dinner party. But you know what? Good for them. Good for them. So that was your minute sketch of the day. So now you know a little bit more about William Byrd. But speaking of the past, oof, girl, I was yesterday. Oh, I was going through some things. You know how you have like a junk drawer where just like things just compile. I don't have a junk drawer. I have a junk like bin, I guess you could call it. Like it's like a one of those like cotton cubes that doesn't have a top. like a storage container, but it's not like plastic or anything. So I have this thing and I put pretty much anything in there, like crafting supplies. I think my glue gun is in there. Extra rolls of tape, like random things. And I remember when I was moving back in August to this apartment, I threw a bunch of photos in this container. And yesterday, unknowingly, I was going through this because I was like, oh, like, you gotta clean out your junk drawer every once in a while. And I was like, I gotta clean this thing out. Like, I gotta go through these items and, make sure everything in here is actually serving me. And I'm going through it and, I just got slapped with these pictures, dude. Oh, it's hard. It's like you see these pictures and not to be, lame about it, but really pictures do say 1,000 words. It's like you can look at a picture and be transported. And it's hard to see pictures of better times. Like better times and like a better place and people that might not now be in your life. And, that sucks. That sucks for sure because I feel like I'm not gonna get rid of these things, you know what I mean? Like I can't just, me personally, I feel very uncomfortable throwing away sentimental things. Like if something has sentimental value to me, like a photo or like some kind of heirloom or something that someone gave me as a gift, I have a very hard time getting rid of that. And yeah, it's uncomfortable because like I was just going through these things, I'm trying to better myself and my quality of life by getting rid of things in my life that I don't need anymore or that are not serving me or I haven't looked at in months and months and months. But yet here I am with these pictures that are not serving me and they, I'm not going to hang them up. I'm certainly not going to like want to look at them, but like I just kind of shoved them back in that thing. And I'm sure unsuspecting future Heidi is going to be really upset the next time I have to look at them again. Because I'm sure I'll forget about them and then I'll have to like clean that thing out again eventually because your junk drawer always is going to be filled with junk. And it sucks sometimes because it's not what I want to endure. But that's the reality of the present, Things are always going to look better in hindsight. But it still stings, It stings to see pictures of what you thought was a great time and what you thought was either somebody who you really trusted or really loved or really appreciated, or, and you thought that it was a certain way, and now looking back, it wasn't. And sometimes all those memories just like can ruin your day. And luckily that did not happen to me yesterday, and I was able to just kind of get over it. But it's what I'm talking about. And my phone has been extremely rude. You know how your phone just like sometimes randomly decides to remind you that you took a picture on this day like 3 years ago or something, and it just decides to show you that freaking picture, and you're like, "Excuse me? Who gave you the authority to just show me this photo? Like, I do not want to see this right now," or like, "I have no desire to look at this." Like, I don't know how to turn that setting off, but if you do, I'll help a girl out, dude. Let me know, because I do not want that kind of energy in my life. And I'm not trying to, like, erase the past. This is the thing. Like, I'm not trying to do that. But I am trying to, like, have control over when I have to relive things. And I know that's kind of, not necessarily the best thing to expect from life. Like, I'm not supposed to be wanting to control absolutely everything that happens to me, because nothing is in my control in reality. And like, whatever. That's a whole nother thing. But it is frustrating to have to experience things like that over and over and over again. And I know it's just going to be time that's going to help to not feel so terrible when those things happen. So, and the same thing with like stuff on the radio, like you hear certain songs, and like, I don't have really any attachment to that one stupid new song that came out. I'm not saying it's stupid. Like, I get frustrated with it, which is why I said that. But like, I don't want to discourage or jump on any like negative bandwagon to this young girl who put out this song. It's that license plate song, or like license plate. No, it's that license song, not license plate. God. But you know the song I'm talking about. She just got her license and she's all sad and like whatever. A blonde girl, like, ruined her relationship, and I have zero attachment to that song or any song like that. But those are the kinds of songs that are on the radio right now. I don't know what it is. Radio stations be sad right now. They be playing stuff that is really just frustratingly, like, sad. I'm like, listen, I know we just got off Christmas music and stuff, but can we try a little bit harder not to, like, depress everybody in January? I know it's cold and sad outside, but like, that doesn't mean we have to just listen to sad music all the time. Like, anyway, I have no attachment to these songs, but I am an extremely empathetic person, and I feel as though a lot of the reasons why I don't like movies, and a lot of the reasons why I get anxious, having to like watch a movie or sit down to a movie, is because I feel things so intensely. And I'm not trying to be like, I'm feeling like I have so many feelings, like, because I do, but like, I really do. And it's never not been like that. And I feel like I get made fun of for it. And it's like, I get some flack for being very emotional, but like, it's not that I'm very emotional, which I am, but like, it's that I feel for other people in such an intense way. I can't even really explain it. Oh God, it's just, I don't like seeing, people crying. I don't like seeing, like, even if I know they're faking, I don't like hearing people sing sad things. I don't like hearing, you know, pain in somebody's voice. You know what I mean? Because then I feel it. Like, and I take it on as if I was in their shoes and I'm really experiencing it for them and also as myself. Because my brain is so quick to, like, relate to things. Which is, I feel like, a good thing in some ways, but also, girl, it's very upsetting sometimes to listen to music and to not know what's coming next. Like, I don't know why I do this to myself, but I listen to Pandora still. I'm stuck in, like, 2010. And, I still listen to Pandora for some reason because I hate myself, and it's random. That's the whole thing about Pandora, is it's just, like, random songs come on, and maybe I like the thrill, I don't know, but, like, random songs come on, and sometimes I'm not ready to hear that song, but I can't unhear something, right? And once it's on, I'm like, well, you know, you can't get rid of it sometimes. So that's a frustrating thing for me. And that driver's license song, I don't necessarily like it. Like, I'm not like, ooh, yay, like, but I'm not trying to bash her. I'm just saying, like, I think a lot of people dislike it because of their emotional connection to something like that. And, you know, people are like, oh my God, if I hear that driver's license song one more time, like, I swear to God, like, it's just the same as any other song. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a remarkably bad pop song by any means. I think it's actually kind of good, and the melody's interesting. It reminds me of, like Christina Perri, or who sings Jar of Hearts? Kind of like that, kind of, you know, very ascending melody kind of thing, builds, but it's also very quiet and introverted. You know what I'm talking about, like that whole sad song kind of deal. But yeah, dude, people hate it because it makes them feel upset. And some people love it because it makes them feel upset. Hey, doggies. Some people love that, and I think that's why she's probably popular amongst young teenage girls. Because that's when you're, like, the most upset. I don't know. But I think it's important for people to realize why they might not like a song. Like, you probably have some personal hang-ups about why you don't like it. Because in reality, like, I'm not trying to defend the composition here, like, but it's not that different than a lot of other pop songs that you probably would say that you like. Just saying. In terms of, like, the chord progression and the instrumentation, and, you know, the vocals are not bad. She does do that little, like, singing in cursive thing that everybody seems to do these days, which is kind of new, so people are quick to criticize. But other than that, it's pretty much a standard pop song. You're just, like, upset, you know, and that's why you don't want to hear it. And they overplay things on the radio, classic. You know, they always do that. But it's not a bad song. You're just feeling some stuff. All right, you guys, I think I'm going to go. I've got to do some things with my stupid taxes. Isn't that just the best? I can't wait to turn off this podcast and sit down at my computer and think about how much money I don't have, and how much the government's gonna take, and how much I have to pay them if I don't let them take it from my paycheck. And also how much I don't understand the whole process, which is really the most frustrating part. Just the fact that I really have no idea how to, like, fill out a W-4. You know what I'm saying? You feeling me? It's that classic, like, oh, why didn't they teach us this in high school? Like, that whole meme that's like, I wish they taught us how to change a tire in high school instead of the quadratic formula. Which I get it. But, like, for real, they should have taught us more about how to do our stupid taxes. Like, ugh. We need help. I constantly need help. I'm constantly calling, like, my parents and, accountants and people to help me with this. Like, I don't know how to do this. Hello? Like, what am I, just endowed with all knowledge? God, we know that's not true. I can't even read from a book. Like, I just tried to read you a passage from a book, and I was like, I've never seen that word before in my life. So, we all know I'm not endowed with all knowledge, but you know, I'll be damned if I'm not trying to get more of it. Maybe not all of it, but at least some more of it. So, I'm gonna go do that, and thank you for listening. I really appreciate you. And yeah, you guys, I hope that if you like this podcast, you will support it by subscribing to the YouTube channel here if you're listening on YouTube, and you will comment and like the video and maybe tell somebody about the podcast. You know, we've got things to say over here. We've got chats to be had, and we've got some guests in our future here on the horizon. So we're going to be doing all that. And yeah, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night whenever you happen to be listening to this podcast. And of course, this podcast is called The Paper Soprano, and I am your host. My name is Heidi Schneider. And I never know how to end this podcast. I always feel very strange doing it. So maybe this will just become the thing that I say at the end, and that will help me. But it seems to be not helping. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye. Love you. Love you, mean it. Bye.